Good morning, traders. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 16th of September. We're looking at the SPY cycle patterns for this week. Today, we get a gap reversal in carryover mode. Tomorrow, we get a topping pattern in trending mode. And then we get a gap potential in a trending mode, followed by a top resistance in a counter trending mode on Thursday. Now, what this means, guys, in my opinion, is that we're going to have a moderate rotation today, okay, a consolidating sideways pattern the following day, maybe not quite so large. Then we're going to have a potential narrow gap move, maybe to the upside, maybe to the downside, followed by an inverted topping pattern. This inverted topping top resistance here on the 19th in counter trend mode would suggest that we are going to get a downward bar. Okay, so if we get an upward gap, we can get a downward bar kind of like this. If we get a downward gap here, we could get a downward trending bar kind of like this. And then the very last day, we get that breaking up or down pattern. And a breaking up or down pattern in this case, I think, would be an indication of a downward move. So we'll call it like this. Or if we did get an upward move, it may be something like this. Breaking, meaning breaking one way or the other. We are likely going to roll into some sort of a roll over top type of pattern into the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and then move slightly downward, trying to take out this 540 area, or at least moving into this direction. So the reality here, folks, is we're going to get some volatility. We've got the downward trending mode today, kind of the consolidating mode tomorrow. You can see here we've got the topping pattern tomorrow. And again, the topping pattern could be a rally up into the 561 area, 558 and a half. And then we move into that breaking pattern, and then we move into this rotation. Following week, I believe we're going to move into a very solid downward trend, moving back down into this area, which I've highlighted here. Been talking about this for weeks, this excess phase peak pattern. You can see the flag, okay? And I've drawn this flag fairly wide, but it's because of this low. The reality is we have a fairly solid flag here. If I were to redraw it, let me come in here and redraw the flag more like this. And so there we go with the flag. And that gives us kind of a solid area here. This Wednesday, Thursday, looks like we're going to potentially break down out of that flag. So again, this week, my advice to you traders would be don't get overly aggressive. We're rolling into a sideways flagging formation. I think we're going to be looking at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really consolidating into kind of a sideways early rollover topping pattern. And then come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think we start that big breakdown, moving into that downward trend, maybe rolling over a little in this 555, 552 area, call it 557, 552 area. Then we roll into the following week into that downtrend, which could push us all the way down here to 527. So you got a really good opportunity over the next couple of weeks to the short side, in my opinion, if we break this flag. If we fail to break this flag and we roll up above this 565 and a half area, then we're going to be back into bullish trending. But right now, we do not have that, and we do not have confirmation of that trend. So we're looking at a downward cycle, trying to move down into this 542, 543 area, really back down into this area, this lower support channel, and trying to break through this area if it can. That's probably the 85% chance pattern set up right now through this dual excess phase peak pattern. Okay. So nothing's really changed since last week. We're looking at this rotation, and we're looking at Wednesday, Thursday of this week, possibly a breakaway of this flag. We will see how it plays out. But my advice again is stay very cautious Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and trade the smarter trigger over here. Now, if we do get a higher price move on Wednesday, a higher gap, and we are still below that 562 and a half, 563 area, then again, that might be a great time to look for some put options and get prepared for the big breakdown move coming over the following 2 or 3 or 4 days. Okay, let's go take a look at the Qs. And kind of the same setup. Let me redraw this again because I drew it kind of wide. There you go. Better flagging formation. And again, we're probably going to consolidate. We're at down a little bit this morning. We're going to consolidate likely. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, by Thursday, Friday of this week, we should have a pretty good indication. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere in this area of a breakdown period. That means that you can pretty much sit on your hands over the next 2 days, not really trade, take a day off, protect your capital, and we look like we're going to get into a breakdown pattern possibly starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. It won't be very aggressive, in my opinion, to the downside until the following week and the week after that. So remember, we're talking about, you know, this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday being fairly flat, some gapping moves, then getting into a breakdown, then breaking downward this week. And look here, inside Harami, inside breakaway, inside Harami and carryover, trending crush, reversal rally, up, down, up. And this would put us right into base rally. This is looking like we're finding some support around the 4th or the 5th. And that would put us right over here. Yeah, and that puts us right in line again. 3rd, 4th, 5th, right over here. Puts us potentially right in line for this 451 area on the QQQ, trying to retest these lows. Same thing would be back over here on the SPY. We would be looking at that 4th, 5th. We already have it labeled there. It's actually right here. I'll just shrink this and shrink that. So we're really looking at this time frame here. This is going to be the area that price is going to be probably targeting, this 545 to 540 area. Really just that early October, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's going to give us a really solid range. Excuse me. Still battling with a little, I don't know what it is. It came on with the fires. That one airport fire was fairly close and lots of smoke. And kind of all of a sudden my sinuses really got, stuffed up. So anyway, let's go back over to gold, which should be, I would assume, moving higher. All right, little doji bar. So gold, as I mentioned to you last week, is really trying to push up higher and really will probably run into resistance up here around the 26, 2610, 2613 area. But ultimately, guys, gold is attempting to make a move right up here. This is what gold was trying to do right now. It's trying to move up to 2650, 2655, right around this area where this red block is. We will see if gold is capable of making it. I believe we're going to look at 1 or 2 days of consolidation over here before gold attempts to make another move higher, maybe up into 2639, 2640, right over here in this area, and then maybe a little higher, but that's going to be it. And then I think we're moving into that consolidation phase, aligning again back over here. Look, aligning back with that pullback around early October 3rd, 4th, 5th, uh, 6th, 7th, somewhere around there. So really everything is moving into this pullback mode. And it's pretty clear that we're going to have kind of a rolling pattern over the next 5, 6, 7 days, which is why I again urge you guys to maybe sit on your hands a little bit, go golfing, read a book, take a couple days off. It might be good for you just to not trade over the next, 2 days, 3 days, simply because the price is going to be very choppy and it's going to be searching for a direction. Once we move into this topping pattern after, say, the 19th or the 18th, then we're moving into a very trendy mode. And I think that's going to be a lot more consistent for traders to be able to take advantage of in the SPY and QQQ and gold. In the meantime, here, gold is probably going to make an attempt up above 2640. So be aware that gold really wants to go one or two bars of boom up into this area. 2640, 2650, 2655. And then that's it. It'll probably stall immediately after that back into the downside. So be aware, kind of like we had back over here. This is kind of like that last move right here. Boom. And it consolidates. So here you have that last move. This was the big breakout. Consolidate for a day or two and then move up 30, 40 bucks back up to this top. And then move into a rolling topping pattern. And like I said, I believe gold is going to try to move down into this area right now, 2580, 2590. I think it's almost inevitable that gold has to rotate through this cycle. Okay, Bitcoin rolling a bit downward, did come up and reach the levels that we had expected, running into some resistance in this area. I think that hedge instruments like Bitcoin are poised for a move higher, and I believe this pullback is rather healthy. You can see I've drawn all kinds of lines on here, and I draw all the time because visualization is very important for you guys to be able to see. So yeah, we got those highs, and yeah, we got the inverted hammer formation, or sorry, the inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so we'll come over here and draw a line across the rejection area, set it up as red. And here's our apex area. Okay, so what we're looking at, folks, with Bitcoin is we're going to go through a period of consolidation. I don't think we're going to see anything big happen over the next 3 or 4 days, just moderate consolidation. Then I think we're going to roll into a rally phase. And I do believe that that's going to be a move back into this apexing area right here, trying to find support. So it's probably going to try to get above it and then roll back down a bit. So we will see how it plays out because we need to consolidate into this range headed into the election. And unless we get a major impetus, which gold will probably make a big move to the upside prior to the election. So we need to be aware that gold is likely going to make a big move prior to the election, and we will determine how that is actually going to play out. Bitcoin over here, I think Bitcoin is going to be moving into kind of a consolidated longer term basing and bottoming formation here. We have yet to really break out of this channeling mode. And we've got these 3 surges downward in this area. We are consolidating. We're trying to make a move here. We're trying to find support. Obviously, you can see we're trying to build and reject off of this area. So what I'm looking for is as I've drawn this green area, I'll draw it with a box. This kind of an area right here needs to act as primary support for us. And if we're lucky, we will roll over, building some support in this area and then roll to the upside just before the election. So again, we're getting into that malaise, that sideways trading, that that uncertainty right before the election, and it will resolve. It's just not going to resolve quickly, in my opinion. Okay, so we're at Monday. Let's go back to the SPY. This is a daily chart. You can see where we're at. Again, I would urge traders, I mean, if you're really aggressive, you can go ahead and try to trade in this market on Monday and Tuesday, in my opinion. If you're not overly aggressive, my opinion would be to sit and wait until this Wednesday, Thursday time frame. This is going to give you much more clarity with regards to what the markets are going to do. Okay, guys, that's it. Talk to you later.